Hello everyone and welcome back to Fallout 76, where after what seems like the longest wait in history, we finally have a new endgame event, A Colossal Problem. The event went live for PC players today, and it's expected to go live on consoles later this week, assuming everything is working okay. We'll have to keep an ear out for news from Bethesda on that, but that's alright. Even if you're on console, this will help you get prepared for the event once you can get your hands on it. Remember, if you like videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. There's always a lot more to come. Let's get into it. There's a little quest line attached to the new event, and to get it started, you just want to head to Foundation and talk to a new NPC named Maggie Williams. I won't go over all the dialogue here so we can get straight into the event itself, but it is interesting, so definitely take a minute and go through it. She'll task us with launching a nuke on Monongah Mine, so we can get inside and find out what happened to her long-lost father, Earl Williams. From here, all we have to do is launch a nuke on the mine, and the event will trigger. I am so happy that this is a triggerable event, so we'll be able to do it whenever we want, much like Encrypted and Scorched Earth. I wish there was another way to start it, because the lore presented with Wastelanders makes it pretty clear that dropping nukes is a bad thing, but I'll take what I can get at this point. Monongah Mine is located in the Savage Divide, south of the Palace of the Winding Path, and north of Atlas Observatory. The quest puts a marker down for you, so if, like me, you don't have it marked already, you can still find it. Technically, I think you can skip the conversation with Maggie and just launch a nuke on the mine to trigger the event, but I wanted to make sure I included it for those that want the whole experience. I'm not going to go into the details of how to launch a nuke here. If you're interested in this event, then you probably already know how to do that. When you launch, it's ideal to do it like we do with the Scorchbeast Queen nukes, where you cover just the edge of the map marker, so that when you leave the event, you can quickly run to safety. But I didn't have the map marker to reference, so I had to wing it. As long as you cover Monongah Mine, you'll be good to go. Once the nuke lands, a public event marker will show up on the map. If you go directly there, you'll be teleported straight into the mine, bypassing the nuke zone, so no need to change your armor before you go. There's nothing stopping you from just walking to the event, but fast traveling straight there is certainly much quicker. A couple of important notes to go over while we wait for the event to start. This event takes place in an instanced interior that will only hold 8 players, so it's possible that you'll get placed in an instance away from your team if lots of people are trying to join at the same time. This may cause some frustration early on while everyone on the server is trying to jump in to see the new event, but in a few weeks when the shininess wears off, it'll probably be pretty rare to have more than 8 people trying to join at the same time. Because it's a separate instance, that can also lead to some issues when it comes to death and respawning. Reports of players being unable to respawn after death or being respawned outside of the mine and then unable to re-enter it are out there. I don't know how widespread these issues are. It's a brand new event, but it is something to keep in mind. Try your best not to die, and also try to help out your fellow players by doing your best to revive them if they go down. So hopefully they can avoid those bugs too. As you can see, when you first enter the event, it has a timer in the top right before it starts. That's there to allow players time to wrap up what they're doing and get to the event. Unlike other events, this timer is only 5 minutes long, and there's no way to override it. Use that time to use workbenches, double check your perks, or look for lore. There is a bit of it lying around, and it provides some insight into the Hornwright's business dealings before the war, as well as some more history on Earl and Maggie Williams. We don't need to wait through that whole thing. Once the timer runs out, you'll need to jump down the newly opened mine shaft and into the heart of Monongah Mine, where the event will truly begin. Be careful when you jump down here if you aren't in power armor. There's 2 platforms you need to drop to if you want to avoid facing Earl with a pair of broken legs. Once you're down in the mine, you can sort of take everything in. It's a very spooky, creepy environment, and it is filled with environmental hazards. You're going to see that drill on the wall there, that if you run into that, that'll do damage and kill you, so avoid that. And you'll see, as the event starts, corrosive pools, fire dropping from the ceiling, And here we have Earl Williams himself, a very much souped up Wendigo Colossus. And there's his fear attack, and this is what you want to avoid. Don't die during the fear attack, especially if it sends you running into a wall. That's where I hear some players experience some bugs, so try to avoid that, but you know, the risk is, I guess, part of the reward for the event too. So once you're up, if you respawn, you just have to jump back down into the mine. Assuming nothing goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. And there he goes screaming again. And you can see some of those damage pools kind of sitting over to the left of where I am now. And what I'm doing here is I'm just targeting his head. It doesn't seem to really change anything about whether or not he can use his attacks, which I think is a shame, but you can cripple his limbs, and that does seem to affect his ability to walk and his ability to detect you, but it doesn't stop him from his scream attack or his corrosive attacks or anything else. The most important thing when you're in here, especially if you're a low health build, is to really just be aware of your surroundings. Avoid those damage over time pools. That one right there is a corrosive pool. And what I'm doing here, I'm using a vampire's weapon at low health. So that's going to help me stay alive if I happen to hit any of those damage over time pools. And then the other thing you want to do is make sure if you're running adrenaline, which you should be, that you're hitting these Wendigo spawns as you go. We'll get a closer look at them here momentarily, but we're doing pretty good damage to Earl, and there's the fear attack again, right up against the wall, which is what we want to avoid. Hopefully I did there and I didn't die. And we've got a couple of Wendigo spawns, and I am down. We'll go ahead and respawn and get back into the action. All right, we're back downstairs, taking out some more Wendigo spawns, looting as many of them as we can. And this is really important, and it's a really good design element they did with this event. Number one, these Wendigo spawns drop a ton of screws. So if you do this event a lot, you will never want for screws in the wasteland again. The other really big thing they did was all of these enemies will drop, for the most part, I'm sure there are some exceptions, but for the most part, they will drop whatever ammo you kill them with. So it makes this event a lot more ammunition neutral to do, so you don't have to go out and grind and farm tons of ammo before you come in here and do the event. Here we go again. We've got Earl's head locked on, and we can see just some of the gorgeous design in here. You've got the mine collapsing and that fire damage falling all around you that, of course, you want to do your best to avoid, especially if you're playing at low health. This event is a good bit different than some that we've recently covered. I recently did Project Paradise and Encrypted, and those are events where you have specific jobs to do, and everybody has specific roles to play in the event. With this one, you don't really have that. This is a lot more like the Scorch Beast Queen. It's a challenging event. You've got a lot of tough enemies, and Earl is as tough as they come, but it's not complicated. All you do here is drop into the mine, kill Wendigos, kill Earl. That's your job. Early on, while people are still getting used to the event, I think we can probably expect anywhere from 10 to 20 minute times for completion. But as it goes on, much like the Scorch Beast Queen, we're going to find ways to speed that up and be a little more effective at it. But for now, we're all just going to go down here and fill Earl with lead until Earl dies, and avoid as many pockets of damage over time as we can in the process. That is one thing I'm looking forward to with the next patch, is going to be some of these legendary perks that help us mitigate poison damage and fire damage. That'll definitely help in an event like this. So we'll keep going here. I switched over to my Bloodied Handmaid to do a little more damage. I haven't really been having trouble staying alive, so we'll try and pick up the pace a little bit and move him down the health bar a bit. Grab those very precious screws. And we just keep going here. So all of his limbs are crippled, which is nice, but as you can see, he can still kind of move. It might slow him down a little, but it doesn't totally stop him. Those Wendigo spawns are still a threat, so make sure you take them out. There's still plenty of time to complete the event. Earl is definitely a tough boss. Probably about as tough as the Scorch Beast Queen, but at least with him, we don't have to wait for him to land. We don't have to play guessing games as to when he's going to cooperate and actually let us do damage. So that's a really good thing. We just have to keep going here. I'm going to keep shooting things and build up some adrenaline. Keep hitting Earl. We'll just keep moving here. Oh no, we hit some damage over time. This is what we want to avoid. We really want to stay away from that. And you really don't want to die in this event. Obviously for the reasons I mentioned earlier, but also because every time you die, your respawn takes longer. And if you die a lot in this event, you can and will see respawn timers of up to a minute. And that is just no fun. So we want to try to stay alive here. Earl is almost dead. We're getting closer and closer. And I'm honestly kind of milking the Wendigo spawns a little bit to recoup some ammo and pick up some screws because we clearly are going to take him down in plenty of time. I am so interested in those, I'm going to dance around right under his feet because I know he can't see me. My sneak game is just way too good for that. And Earl is down. So you want to go ahead and loot him. And then the next thing you want to do is make your way out of the mine. Now, I don't know if this is a bug or if this is intended, but there's no map marker here showing us how to get out. And we only have about 2 minutes to make our way out of the mine. So what you want to do basically is just kind of run around the perimeter until you see a passage to escape. Try not to get bogged down with the Wendigo spawns at this point. This is going to be one of the most frustrating things about this event because you only have a little bit of time to get out, and if you die, you will not complete the event. You will not get rewards, you will not pass go, you will not collect $200, you will be dead, and all of your effort will be wasted. So make sure that once he's dead, you loot that body and you bolt out of there. Early on, this is going to be frustrating for people, but again, as the event goes for a little while, you're going to learn where everything is and figure out how to get out on your own. So I've done it a bunch of times at this point on the test server, so easy enough for me to get out, but it looks like other people are lagging behind a little bit. Now, the other thing here is there is a chest that appears on your way out with some extra rewards. Previous iterations of the event directed you there, but this one doesn't. So again, don't know if that's a bug or if that's intended. But bear in mind, that's there. The good thing is it does look like the major rewards from the event are provided outside of that chest. So if you miss it, it's just some ore and some caps. It's not the end of the world, so don't get too upset with yourself if you miss it. Now here, because my nuke drop was not great, I need to hurry up and get into my Chinese stealth armor so I don't die. And now that I'm safe, we'll go ahead and hang out here and check out the rewards before we wrap up the video. We got a 3-star Ghoul Slayer's Gamma Gun, so isn't that wonderful? At least it's 40 scrip. And we got a Cursed Harpoon Gun. These are going to probably be the most desirable items from the event. They're unique 3-star legendary items that, in addition to their normal legendary effects, also do extra damage at the cost of faster weapon degradation. So you'll do more damage, but you'll have to repair them more often. The other rewards everyone's going to be after are the plans for the Colossus plushie and rug, which sadly I didn't get here. I guess I'll just have to try again. But the other big thing, if you remember to loot all those Wendigo spawns, is screws. I walked away with 95. That might seem like a silly thing to focus on in an endgame event, but those screws are really valuable, so make sure you loot as you go. Of course, after this, you can go visit Maggie again for some extra rewards and dialogue options, but I'll leave that for you to discover. As always, if you liked this video, found it useful, or anything in between, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. There's always more Fallout 76 content coming on the channel. Till next time, I'm Fisty McRib.